alhamdulillah. And it was a summer dawrah that they had, the summer dawrah of 2008 that was being put on by Dar al-Mustafa. Dar al-Mustafa is a school over there. Alhamdulillah, العالمين. It was founded by Habeeb Umar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect him. And actually the text that we're going to be learning from was compiled by his father. His father compiled this. So he, alhamdulillah, he has this. It was the dawrah for the English speakers. I didn't know that there was an Arabic one at that time. I probably would have enrolled for that one. But alhamdulillah, I went there for the English one. Mashallah, it was something else. It was really wonderful. Alhamdulillah. I was the only representative from Philly at that time. So I'm hoping, inshallah ta'ala, maybe this year, more brothers from Philly will go there. Because they hear that there's a lot of Muslims here in Philly. And every time, I tell them about Philly, they say, yeah, there's a lot of Muslims there. But I was the sole representative, you know what I'm saying, last year. Hopefully, inshallah, this year will be different, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So we were over there, and in the course, we studied the Aqeedah. Our teacher in the Aqeedah was Habeeb Zayd ibn Abdurrahman ibn Yahya, Hafeedh ta'ala. And he taught us the text that we're going to be studying from, which is called Duroos At Tawheed, Lessons in Divine Unity for Beginners. Alhamdulillah, he basically taught us a class in Arabic and it was translated into English. Alhamdulillah. So that's basically a brief overview of that. And inshallah ta'ala, I wanted to talk briefly about this science itself. What is this science? This science, basically, the scholars of Islam say that there's something called al-muqaddimat al-ashr, which is like the 10 prefaces, the 10 things that are mentioned before a science, that when you get into a science, you should talk about those 10 things so that you have an understanding of the science that you're getting into. So it says here, the question, and this is one of the two books we're going to be studying from. This is it. Might as well do it now. The introduction of the two books we're going to be learning from is this one here, the translation of Duroos At Tawheed, which they gave to us while we were in the course, which I handed out to everybody, inshallah. This is one. And then the Arabic Al-Mufid Liqari Duroos At Tawheed, the beneficial book for the reader of Duroos At Tawheed. And this was compiled by a Shaykh named Abdullah Saalim Ba Khuraysa. Hafeedh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him. So in this book right here, this is basically a book, a question and answer about the book that we're going to go over. So he mentions here in this, he says here, Su'al, ma hiya mabadi'u fann at-tawheed. Question, what are the principles of the science or the art of tawheed? He says, Jawab, the answer, قال الشاعر, the poet says, إن مبادئ كل فن عشرة إن مبادئ كل فن عشرة الحد والموضوع ثم الثمرة وفضله ونسبة والواضع والاسم الاستمداد حكم الشارع. So he says, مسائل والبعض بالبعض اكتفى ومن درى الجميع حاز الشرفا. So in this poem, basically, he says that the principles of every science are 10 things. The definition of the science, the topic of the science, then the fruit that is derived from the science. So when you write these names, these words down, you want to leave some space to write in the actual definition that we're going to give for each of these, inshallah. Al-Hadd is the definition. Al-Mawdu' is the topic. And the thamara is literally the fruit. The fruit, what a person derives from the science. وَفَضْلُهُ, and the virtue. That's the fourth thing. وَفَضْلُهُ. وَنِسْبَةٌ, and the relation of it. Like, how does it relate to other sciences and other things? وَنِسْبَةٌ. As seen. Nah. Noon, seen, ba, ta, marbuta.
What was the last one?
Okay, let me just go. I don't know which last one from what. So الحد والموضوع. So that's the definition and the topic or the subject matter, and the thamara, the fruit, and the fadl or the virtue of it, right? Then nisbatun. Nisba is the relation of it.
How it relates to other sciences.
Yes, how it relates to other sciences. So that's 5. Number 6, al-wadi'. Al-wadi'. Number 6 is basically the person who put down the science, the person that formulated that science. It doesn't mean that he's the inventor of the science, but what it means is that he or she is the person that classified the topics and the subject matter of that science to make it to make it able to be learned from. A person can actually learn it and teach it. Because a thing can be a science, but it's not in a form where it can actually be learned. Like, a lot of us know English. We all speak the English language. But do we know enough of it to actually teach it to somebody? Like, this is a predicate, this is a subject, this is a verb, this is an adjective. You know what I'm saying? So, mind you, think if those didn't have terms. If all of those different parts of speech didn't have any terms, there was no terminology. How could we possibly teach it to somebody? It'd be impossible. So then, those terms of speech, they needed to be termed. Those different parts of speech had to have terms to make it possible for a person to learn it and teach it to other people. And to be able to know if somebody made a mistake in English, why they made a mistake. Not just, it doesn't sound right. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, this is supposed to go before that. Well, why? Well, because the predicate goes with some, you know what I'm saying? It can explain using the names of that's in the science. So that's very important. The wadi', or the person who put down the science, the person who classified the science. Dad. Naam. Al-wadi' is waw, alif, dad, ayn. Al-wadi'. The one, it literally means the one who puts something down. Wadi' is to put something down. So the one who put it down or made it or formulated it. But when we say make it, we don't mean that they made it up from scratch or made it up by themselves, but it really means that they made the terminologies for it, they made a science out of it. Wal ismu, and the name of the science, or the names of that science. And al-istimdad. Al-istimdad is one of the forms of the word mad, and mad is basically to give someone something. You know, istimdad is to derive something or to extract something. So istimdad here, what istimdad means is what the science is extracted from. Where do we extract the science from? So we have terminologies in the science, we have a topic in the science, we have a subject matter, but where are we getting all that from? You know what I'm saying? Where does it come from? So basically the source of the science, where we derive the science from. And the hukm al-shari', the judgment in Islamic law. What is the judgment of that science? So inshallah, hopefully we all got that. Hukm al-shari', the judgment in Sharia, in Islamic law. It's a legal judgment about it. So then, Haddu ilm al-Tawheed, the definition of the science of Tawheed. Lughatan, linguistically, Tawheed means to know that something is one. Is to know or consider something to be one. وشرعا, and as far as Islamic law is concerned, هو علم يعرف به إثبات العقائد الدينية بالأدلة اليقينية. The translation of that is, Islamically, in Islamic law, it is a science through which a person knows how to affirm the Islamic creed through evidences that have no doubt. Evidences that are doubtless. Clear-cut, convincing evidences. It's very, very important to know that, because This is the Aqeedah. And the Aqeedah is belief. And if you believe something, you can't have doubt about it. It doesn't accept doubt. You know what I'm saying? So if you believe something to be true, and it's that is in your heart, then it conflicts with belief to have also doubt about the same thing. Now, so it is a science through which one knows how to affirm the Islamic beliefs. It is a science through which one knows how to affirm the Islamic beliefs with doubtless evidences.